Hey guys, Tiffany here, aka the Tiffinator, and today I'm bringing you another video of domination from Call of Duty Black Ops. So I wanted to talk to you guys about Valentine's Day because I know that's coming up really soon, and I didn't know if you guys had any funny Valentine's Day stories or romantic stories or anything that you wanted to share. I don't really have a lot of stories. I mean, Valentine's Day is not that big for me. And I remember, like, in high school, I went to an all-girls school. So it wasn't really a big deal. We used to have these cheesy Valentine's Day grams where we would just send like these little paper cutout hearts with candy on them. So we used to buy them for our friends, and that wasn't a big deal. All my friends throughout high school had boyfriends, but I never had a boyfriend in high school. I looked at some of the guys my friends are dating, and I was just like, not interested. And so not until I went to college did I have any real, steady boyfriends. And a lot of my boyfriends used to tell me that I was really hard to shop for because I'm not big on jewelry. I don't usually wear any jewelry. I'm not too big on chocolate. Like, when I was growing up, I used to eat a ton of chocolate. And I mean, so much that I probably made myself sick a couple of times. And so now I really don't like chocolate because I think it's because when I was little, I kind of ate so much of it that it kind of makes me feel sick sometimes. So I like chocolate if it's really good chocolate, but if it's like Hershey's or, just random chocolate, I don't really like it. I don't even like chocolate ice cream. If I have to have chocolate ice cream, I like to mix it with vanilla so it's not so chocolatey. What else? I hate roses. Of all the flowers, and I love flowers because I do like to garden, and in Hawaii it's great gardening because there's no winter and the season is like gardening central all year long. So I used to garden a lot growing up, but I never really got into roses. I don't like the smell of roses, and I don't like how commercial they are. And I also don't like stuffed animals, and I don't like anything that's like a tchotchke. Like, I like things that have a purpose. I must be very utilitarian because when I shop for stuff, I look at things and I'm like, oh, that is going to be dreadful to clean. And seriously, that's how I shop. I look at things and I'm like, how am I going to be able to clean this and keep it clean or keep it nice in my apartment? And so stuffed animals, I'm just like, they're just going to sit there and collect dust, and there's no real purpose for them. So I really don't like them at all. I mean, I do have a teddy bear that is very sentimental from when I was very young that my grandfather gave me. But pretty much that's, the only stuffed animal that I have. And I'm not one of those girls to have a huge pile of teddy bears that I put on my bed every day. That's just not me. So, I've been told that I am really hard to buy gifts for just because everything generic and everything commercial I really don't like. I like things, it doesn't have to be expensive. I just like things that take thought and that are unique. And I love like cooking. So a lot of times if I want to make a gift or it's a special occasion, I'll cook a lot of food, or I'll bake. I love baking, even though I probably shouldn't bake because I'm not really good about always measuring ingredients. I'm more of a person that just throws things together. Um, yeah, so this year I'm single, so I'm just gonna be hanging out with one of my girlfriends, and we are going to be watching some super sappy romantic comedies, just romantic movies. And she's really big into wine, so I'll probably head over and she'll bring the wine, which I probably won't drink any of because I'm not a big drinker and I really don't like wine. And I'll probably cook dinner. So that'll be a really fun, chill night. But let me think back. I don't really have any crazy stories. I mean, I think the craziest story that I have ever had was in college, and I had a boyfriend, and I had finished all of my classes, so I was done for the day. And all I remember is they were filming a movie on our campus. And my apartment and his apartment were on opposite ends of the campus. So for Valentine's Day, I bought some really cute lingerie. And after class, because I had the whole afternoon open, I went back to my apartment and I, did my hair, I curled it, and I made it all fancy, which I usually don't do. I usually just pull it into a ponytail. So this is a big deal. And I, put on makeup, I put on the lingerie, and I put on high heels, and I put on a trench coat. So then I decided, okay, I have to walk all the way across campus. And where I went to school, it was still pretty cold. So it was normal to have a trench coat on. It just wasn't normal to not have pants on. And so I basically walked through the entire campus, and all I remember is, why are people staring at me? And I remember walking past the movie set crew, and everybody on the crew just kind of watched me as I walked, and even they were looking at me even after I passed them. So I was like, I must look pretty hot, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And so I got to my boyfriend's apartment, and I ended up knocking, and I could see him in the living room. He was on his computer. And I wanted him to come to the door. So normally what I used to do is I used to just walk in because the door was always unlocked and he had 4 roommates. So everybody was always coming in and out. So it wasn't a big deal. But I was like, no, I want him to come to the door. So I ended up ringing the doorbell. And he still didn't come to the door. So I rang it 10 times, nonstop. And finally one of his roommates came down. And I could see him from the window, coming to open the door. And I was like, oh, it's not my boyfriend. So I just opened the door. And he was like, why did you ring the doorbell so many times if you were just going to let yourself in? And he was so pissed off. And so he went back to his room. And all I remember is saying hi to my boyfriend and then going into the bathroom. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, what was everybody looking at? And I didn't realize I was wearing a really long trench coat, and I turned around and there was a slit in the trench coat. It was meant to be there, but there was a slit in the back that went all the way up to almost the middle of my back. So I guess when I was walking and the slit was opening, people could see that I wasn't wearing any clothes, or I was wearing almost no clothes. And so that is one of my most embarrassing Valentine's Day stories ever. And I remember going back to one of the engineering school, because I was an engineering major, and I had to study that night with some of my friends. And I remember telling them that story, and they were just like hysterical laughing. Like pretty much by the next day, everybody in my class knew that story. I was totally mortified. So now that I shared with you one of my most embarrassing moments ever, you guys should totally comment, and if you have an embarrassing story to tell me, or a really romantic story or a funny story, or if you need tips on what you should get for your significant other this Valentine's Day, totally drop me a line. I would love to read all of your stories, comments, questions, whatever. It's actually almost the end of the video, so we end up winning, and I go, oh sweet, so here's the view of my chopper gunner right at the end. Nice. So yeah, I end up going 48-4. This was a pretty awesome game. I had a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think. This is the Tiffinator. Come play with me.